Hey, good evening, everybody. So, I wanted to make this video about Social Security, this Social Security Administration, and how what's been going on. I'm not going to talk too much about the policies, so we're going to just dive right into it. So, honestly, what I have been seeing with the Social Security Administration Act since my dad had passed away, my mom's been receiving survivor benefits. Okay, and so when this had happened with all the stuff that's been going on since Donald Trump has been in office, with all these tax cuts and with the fact that people are living on a fixed income. Now, I know that my mother does not have enough to live on. She does not have assets. She does not have savings account. She doesn't have any of that. So here's the biggest thing. When Social Security had really talked about helping seniors get not only Medicare, because the Medicare policy is Medicare Part A, Part B, which pays in with the premium cost. Now, her drug costs have gone up, and luckily, she has gotten on Humana. Now, Humana is a huge, large health insurance company who has provided services for senior citizens. Now, a lot of the time when I have to delegate in dealing with Social Security, I hate dealing with Social Security because Social Security gives me a headache, to be honest with you. Because Social Security, they want us to live on a fixed income, broke enough to live, paycheck to paycheck, and not even have enough to live on. So, like, I never did like what Donald Trump has been doing. He always talks about these tariffs. He talks about how he's going to make America great again, which we all know America is not great again because jobs and the economy is getting very tough for a lot of people. That's why a lot of people have resorted to doing online businesses because we have never had the economy risen prices the way it has been for a long time. We've been in recession since the COVID-19 pandemic. And let me reassure you something. The COVID-19 pandemic they have talked about this since we have been in war with China. Now, let me give you a bigger picture as far as to what really is going on. Okay? The Democratic Party, I understand the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they don't want to come to an agreement about anything. It's just like, you hit a nail nail on a haystack. And I'm using that analogy because overall, we see a lot of American people very frustrated. Not only are we frustrated with the fact that we already have a bad economy, but we're frustrated because we're not getting our basic necessities needed. Like, we can't even think about those middle class individuals. We're not able to afford for food. A lot of people are resorting to go to the food pantries because there's not enough money coming out from food stamps, not to mention my food stamps got cut off this past week, and I'm having to reapply all over again. So that messes up the whole damn month ring. Luckily, I get about $500 plus another total $500 from the fact that they cut off my food stamps because I had applied for welfare. Now, bigger picture here, people. My caseworker was supposed to be helping me with all this shit, but he never did. A lot of the caseload that people are dealing with, people are really short-staffed right now. And that is simply just because our economy sucks. And so when I had to deal with Social Security, not only Social Security, but Medicaid, because Medicaid is just ridiculous now. I've talked to one of my girlfriends about this. Medicaid, they've been having hard times with people getting Medicaid. Not only Medicaid, but Social Security. And when you talk about Social Security impacting people's lives, I mean, because people rely upon the government to, give them the basic things that they need to have: food, water, shelter, everything else. Not to mention, there's things that come along with unexpected expenses like car repairs, home repairs. We're talking about people who are trying to get home repairs. Like, I have moved into this house. We have had to pay for not only rent, but we're talking about home repairs such as plumbing, roof problems, all kinds of issues. Okay. So when you're investing into a business, and you're investing into like doing things for your online business, I'm telling you, you have to figure out exactly. And I'm a problem solver, so I know this. Hypothetically speaking, there's a lot of people who are very, very upset about what's going on in this economy. Not just because they can't afford for their basic needs, but they're not able to even afford for the things that they really need to do, which is going to work, putting gas in their car, and being able to live everyday life. So that's the reason why a lot of people reconsider even decide to move into the United States. Now, I know that a lot of times when we think about this stuff and we write down the numbers of the things that we've had to deal with over the last year, because think about it. Year 2022 all the way up to 2026. How much have you really seen that's really changed? Me, I really haven't seen much change since the time that Obama was in office. I hate to say that. Obama was in office, and everything from Obamacare to Social Security to the Healthcare Reform Act and the basically Obamacare, okay, which I call shit care, because he really didn't even do anything to helping us with our basic healthcare needs. Now, that's why you see a lot of people end up with hospital bills that they cannot pay for because they got so many other things that they're dealing with. Our economy as a whole needs to come together, because if we don't come together, this war right now that they're talking about, we are divided as a nation, and we're talking about political things that people are dealing with every freaking day. I'm not even just talking about yesterday, the day before yesterday, and we all want to live in a better place. But if we're going to live in a better place, something has to change, and it has to deal with the government first. Because if Congress can't agree to doing the things that they need to do, there are going to be a whole hell of a lot of people who are going to be very upset because they can't even pay for their basic needs. So that's what I really wanted to point out today, you guys. I really am very upset about what's been going on, because it's just ridiculous, the amount of things that we've already had to pay for. Not to mention, Donald Trump talks about tariffs going up and how he's going to change everything. And these things haven't changed. And I would much rather him be impeached right now instead of living underneath all this stuff with taxes and all these things that people are already dealing with. We are already hurt as an economy. What else more can he do to make it worse? What else more when we decide as a nation to make changes and to make better decisions for our economy and as a community of people, then we need to stand up for those things and stop allowing everybody else to tell us what to do and how to do it. Because that's what I'm fed up with. I'm fed up with all those things. I'm hoping and praying to God that these things change, because without that, our economy is going to be in danger. I already see it. So that's why I'm frustrated with that. I had to vent out how I felt about it. Whether you agree or disagree, I really don't care. I'm putting my whole 2 cents into everything I just said, because I'm tired of seeing the things that I've already seen and the things that haven't even been done. and this is only 2006. Wait until 2007 rolls around and shit hits the fan, and people gonna be wondering why this is happening. I mean, God will make a way where there's no way, but when you got people who are in office who do not care about the American people, don't even sit here and criticize and put all this hate and shame into it, because there ain't no shame in this game dealing with the economy the way it is. And for all you people who's talking about what had going on in China and how China did this and China did that, well, China's economy is just as bad because of the things that have been going on. I'm pretty sure that the communist countries, like all the Southeast Asian countries, they're probably wondering what the hell is going on in this, in the United States, because they can watch what we're doing. They see what we're doing without even us questioning with a second doubt that they are doing that. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's my thoughts about this whole economy. If you like hearing what I say, great. If you don't, just click off my video. I really don't even care. Anyways, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be making another YouTube video content about relationships. You do not want to miss out on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I did say I was going to make a blog about my relationship coaching and all that stuff. I haven't had time, to be honest with you guys. But I will, when I get the chance, to be able to, do my domain. I know I haven't really finished it off yet, but overall, I'm getting there, people. And not to mention, I have been focusing on my entrepreneur AI. I'm loving it. I'm loving watching the videos. Can't get any better than that. I haven't picked a better company to do it more than I have. So anyways, I'll talk more about that later on. It's called The Social Club. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, he's got a lot of great information. The entrepreneur life, you guys, the entrepreneur life.